If you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel or, just doing something creative, stop watching YouTube videos and just do it. All right, so let me get into what I actually mean. I feel like there's a lot of people out there who want to do something, like for example, start a YouTube channel or create YouTube videos, but there's a lot of things holding them back. And I can honestly relate to that because even with my YouTube channel, for a long time I didn't start, or I started and then I kind of stopped, and I was like thinking like, what can I do? How should I do this and that? Looking at all these tutorials, trying to figure out the best ways to, ride the algorithm and all that stuff. And you'll see a lot of bigger YouTubers if you go and watch their videos on like advice to people starting out.
Any of you listening, especially if you have 0 videos on your channel, your first video is not going to get views. Your first 10 are not going to get views. I can very confidently say that. So stop sitting there and thinking for months and months on end and just get to work and start uploading. Just make 100 videos, improve something each time, and then talk to me on your 101st video.
Level 1 is get going. A huge hurdle that holds people up from starting a YouTube channel is actually just not getting started with the thing in the first place. So what I'd be doing is I'd just be making 3 videos. Maybe they're shorts, maybe they're videos I don't even edit. Maybe I'm just making them on my phone and speaking to the camera and uploading them to a new YouTube channel. I'm gonna be absolutely terrible at it because like with any skill, it takes ages to get good at the thing. But at least at the start, I've made some kind of effort in doing it. Like for example, if you're watching this right now and you haven't yet started a YouTube channel, I suspect the thing that's holding you back is probably overthinking.
There's a lot of times where I think that you might be working on a project and at first you feel passionate about it, and then 2 weeks in you're editing it and you're getting ready to post it and you're like doubting yourself like, this is stupid. Why am I doing this? Oh my God, I'm gonna embarrass myself in front of everybody. I think a lot of people get to that point and just kill the project, which is something that I personally still sometimes do myself. And that is where being too much of a perfectionist can be harmful, but that's how I think a lot of some of the best stuff happens, is when you're willing to put yourself out there. So if you are working on a project and you're like, oh God, this is starting to feel stupid, why did I even do this? Just know that like all of us feel that way. This video, I'm still like scratching my head going like, is this the right video I should be putting out right now? But
the best advice is just to do it, just to get started, just to go. A lot of times we get caught up in the small details and how we can like make things perfect or better or just as good as someone else's, but in reality we just need to start going forward in order to make progress. And progress, in my opinion, is the most important thing when it comes to like creative endeavors or just doing things in general. If you're not progressing, then what are you really doing, So like when it comes to you making a YouTube channel, making videos, if you're constantly just researching, just searching up how to do this, how to do that, looking at all these theories and ideas and not putting it into practice, then you're not really moving forward, you're not really progressing. And yes, you might be learning a lot of information in your head, but there's a difference between learning something in your head and like it being head knowledge and actually putting it into practice and learning and growing from that. And that is experience. So in order to make progress and gain experience, you need to move forward. So if you're out here researching how to, make all these YouTube videos, how to reach the algorithm and stuff like that, just stop, man, just make videos. And I'm not saying research is bad. Like, of course, research will help you, and learning things will definitely expand your horizons, give you insight on different things that you might need to learn or know or be aware of. I'm not saying not to research, but what I'm saying is that sometimes you got to get outside the lab and actually put it into practice. You got to try it out. Otherwise, you're not going to be moving forward. And then the next big thing, I think, when it comes to being a creative or creating videos and stuff like that, is to stop being a perfectionist. And I know this is easier said than done because even I'm like that. I struggle with perfectionism a lot of the time too, but really you gotta stop being a perfectionist in order to actually allow yourself to move forward. For example, I've been making music for a long time, but early on when I first started making music, I was very like, it has to sound like this, it has to be like this, my beats have to sound like this, they have to have this and that because the artists that I like have this, or like the artists that my friends like. I was trying to like fit myself into this box and like be exactly like what I think people like. And also what the artist that I liked did. I have to like be exactly like that. And really, that might sound alright in theory, but really that just kept me stuck in one place. It held me back from actually moving forward and making music and like discovering my own sound and stuff like that, It made me feel like I'm inadequate and I don't have the ability, I don't have the talent, the gifting, whatever, all these different things. And it just made me feel less. When really, all I needed to do was just start making music and stop being a perfectionist, stop holding myself to a certain standard, when really the only standard I should have held myself to is actually getting it done, just doing something. I'm not saying to, just put out bad stuff. I'm not saying to not try to, evolve and be better, especially when it comes to music. You know, I'm not saying to not be innovative and stuff like that, but when you're being a perfectionist, when you're holding yourself to like this perfect standard, when it has to sound like this and that, you're kind of limiting your creativity in a sense. And you're not really allowing yourself to, you know, explore the different aspects of what you're trying to create and even develop your own style and your own sound and stuff like that. And that goes with everything. Like when it comes to video editing, creating YouTube videos, if you hold yourself to a certain standard, or you're trying to be like, let's say every tech YouTuber is trying to be like MKBHD, then you're not really allowing yourself to be creative, and you're just becoming like a copy and paste clone. And even that guy is like, you know, a multi-millionaire. He has a company behind him. He has a team, you know, a bunch of video editors, designers, and all that stuff. So like, it's not like he's just doing this by himself. He has a whole, you know, a group of people who are being paid well to help him create these quality videos. So if you hold yourself to that standard, when you're starting at the bottom, you know, you don't really have that many resources or the money and even the time, then you're just gonna set yourself up for failure, because you're not gonna be able to reach MKBHD level in terms of video quality and production and stuff like that when you're starting down here with like nothing. So you really gotta eliminate the standards, the perfectionism, in order to actually create quality, or like create quality within your own means. And then eventually you can start to do bigger and even more better stuff. So yeah, the second thing is get rid of perfectionism, because it will just hold you back. You're always going to be trying to produce the better product, and you're never going to put out anything, or you're never going to do anything if you keep on chasing that unrealistic standard. And just another disclaimer, I'm not saying that having goals is wrong. I'm not saying that reaching as high as you can is wrong. I'm all for that, bro. My whole life is that. So I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is like, if your sound doesn't sound exactly how you want it to, I don't think you should not put it out, or I don't think you should, you know, just scrap that project and get rid of it or give up or whatever. I'm saying to just, you know, it is what it is. That's what it sounds like. Now move forward. And then honestly, the next biggest thing when it comes to like creating videos and being a creative is ignoring outside opinions. So what do I mean by this? Because obviously when you create something, especially on YouTube or you're making music, you're going to put it out there for people to listen to or people to interact with. People will consume what you're putting out. So what does it mean to ignore their opinions? I think as a creative, you should listen to different feedback that people give you. You should listen to what people are saying, because it's good to like be aware of how people see what you're doing and stuff like that, to understand, you know, different perspectives about what you're creating, what you're putting out there. I think that is good. So always listen, but don't allow everything to impact or change what you're doing. So let me give you an example. Let's say you created a video and you want to put it out on YouTube, but you wanted to share it with a friend before you do that. And you share that with your friend, and your friend is like, oh, your friend's like, yeah, this is amazing. And then you put it out there, and then the video doesn't do well, or people are like, oh, this is really bad. And like in reality, maybe your audio was off or something like that, but your friend told you it was amazing. That is an example of, you know, listening to what someone said, but also like allowing it to impact your decision making and, you know, how you feel about it, and it could cloud your judgment. So you put out that video, and even though it has some major flaws, some major issues that you should probably should have fixed beforehand, your friend wasn't being truthful, and they were just saying, yeah, it's amazing. They were just being a yes man. You shouldn't let what people say, people's opinions, be the end all be all. And in the same way, now switch up the scenario. If you show a video to someone and then the video is actually pretty good, there's no actual issues with it other than like they might not enjoy it. Like let's say your friend is not into tech videos and stuff like that. You show them the video and then they're like, oh, this is trash, bro. This is a waste of time. What are you doing? You should stop making YouTube videos. You shouldn't even try this. Give up. If your friend is saying all that and you let them discourage you and you don't put out anything, you don't try, you give up, then that's the end of, you know, you trying to do this creative thing. That's another example of when you shouldn't listen to people, or you shouldn't like allow what they say to impact what you're doing. At the end of the day, art is subjective. Everything we put out there, some people are gonna like it, some people are gonna hate it. It is what it is. We're human beings at the end of the day. We all are different. But you cannot live in this life, especially as a creative person trying to create something. You cannot thrive and live if you are doing things based on how other people feel or what other people say and other people's opinions. Even the greatest artists out there are people that do not like what they produce or what they put out. It is what it is. You cannot reach everyone. You can't satisfy everyone. So you really gotta, you know, look at your art, figure out why you're trying to create these videos, and, you know, what is the purpose of them, how you feel about them, and that's it. And then everything else is like extra. So like if people enjoy your videos, then oh yeah, that's cool. That will make you feel nice for sure. But that shouldn't be the reason why you're doing it necessarily. If you're just doing it for other people's approval and stuff like that, then you're gonna be disappointed. You're gonna set yourself up for failure. It's gonna take a toll on you. So in a sense, you gotta ignore other people's opinions, the outside opinions. But like I said, there is wisdom in it. You gotta listen to everything. I think there is wisdom in listening. and then you sift through, like, you know, whether it's constructive feedback or if it's just like people being disrespectful or it's people sharing an opinion that is not really helpful. You know, you gotta dissect all that stuff and take it in, and then allow that to enhance your art and what you're trying to put out there and what you're trying to create. So yeah, that's the video. I was kind of doing some Japanesing, but I feel like this is something that I struggle with a lot, so I want to just put it out there and share. Let me know in the comments below if you relate to any of this stuff or if it was helpful, and if I should do more videos like this. But yeah, until the next video, we are out. Peace.